Hello there. If you're interested in money, which I am, then you'll be interested in this, because it's all about financial services advertising. And what never ceases to amaze me is that financial services, which are all about money, you would think as a group would be more interested in getting value from money out of their advertising and marketing than anyone else. But I've concluded that they make so much money that they don't really bother, for the most part. And what I'm going to do is go through a selection of financial services ads that I found just in 3 days, and make some comments about them, which you may or may not find helpful. And the first one is one for Zurich, which is a double-page spread. And it's got this guy, you can see, I personally find him obnoxious, but you may think he's wonderful. But let me tell you that if you're pinning your hopes on in an advertisement on whether people find somebody appealing, then you should make sure, do some research in advance to make sure they do find them appealing. But that's by the by. More to the point, this is a waste of space. It says, some people dream about a retirement spent in the garden, not me. And then underneath it, you can see the copy, pension plans to help provide the retirement you've always imagined. And then down at the bottom, Zurich, because change happens. This is just waffle. Anybody could say this sort of thing, and putting a Z in a slogan is not an argument. I might add that in terms of return on investment, there is an ocean of research going back over 100 years that shows that a double-page spread is not a very good bet. In fact, on average, if a double-page spread were getting replies, this is what the research, successive waves of research have shown. A double-page spread in terms of replies is highly inefficient. So if you take 100 as the response rate you would get from a full page, you would get 131 from a double page spread. And from a half page, not 50, but somewhere between 68 and 71. And for a quarter page, around about 48, and so on. So pro rata, the smaller the space, the more cost efficient. But that's by the by, because I'm really here to talk about creative work. Here's another example. This is for Murray International Trust. And I think this is somewhat better. It says, our fund manager's most useful tool, number 7, a travel plot. Over the past year, we've personally interviewed the management of over 3,000 companies worldwide. But at least this is making a point. But it really isn't a very good headline. Our fund manager's most useful tool. I'm not really interested in what your fund managers do. I'm more interested in what you are going to do for me. But at any rate, there is something of an argument here. There's nothing like being able to judge for yourself. For us, we won't add a company to our portfolio without first holding a personal interview with its management. Established in 1900, then it falls apart. Established in 1907. I really don't care when you were established. What is missing from this advertisement, which is absolutely criminal, is that the most important word in copy is not free or new. It is you and your and yours, because that's what you're interested in. And if you read this copy, there's nothing like being able to judge for yourself. And then you go down the copy, 1 paragraph, 2 paragraphs, and then the next paragraph, the first paragraph where the word you comes in, is the paragraph of warning. Do remember that the value of shares and the income from them can go down as well as up. You may not get back the amount you invested. How very encouraging. You have to do that legally. But if you're going to talk about you, then you're better off talking about you much earlier on. For this is from Aberdeen. Let's look at something else. let's look at somebody who obviously thought he was being terribly creative. It's a completely blank page from Bruin Dolphin, top right hand, investment management, financial planning, corporate advisory. As a matter of interest, if you want to know anything about layout, one thing that's worth knowing is that the top right hand corner is the last place where people normally look. They tend to look first of all in the middle, about 1/3 down, then their eyes flash up to the top left normally, and then they go down to the top right to see who signed it. But the signature here, Bruin Dolphin, is on the top right. But the point is, they are taking a whole page to make a point that anybody could make, which is made in the headline, "We like to begin every relationship with a blank sheet of paper." And then at Bruin Dolphin, we only really get to know our clients to help us better respond to their specific wants and needs. In other words, the first thing we earn is your trust, which I'm sure somebody was very pleased with. Once again, it's the only use of the word you or your anywhere in this advertisement. The whole page is made to make a very, very simple point, which anybody could make. I would hope that anybody advising me about my investments would have the sense to start with a blank sheet of paper and to find out a little bit more about me. Let's look at what else we've got here. Here we've got one for JP Morgan Asset Management. We believe this is a golden opportunity to benefit from our Midas touch. Gold Standard Award winners 2010. Invest now in the new issue of C shares in JP Morgan Global Emerging Markets Income Trust. This is what the late David Ogilvy used to call flatulent puffery. We believe this is a golden opportunity to benefit from our Midas touch. And there we've got a block of gold, so there's a play on the word gold. Plays on words do not work very well. This is again more boastful stuff. More boastful stuff. Why are you going to help me in a way that other people couldn't help me? The best thing in the whole thing actually, obviously, is the fact that they did win an award. Again, it's all about us, yeah? Let's see how many times the word you is used. The search for income continues to be a challenge. Well, we know that. Improve corporate discipline, blah, blah, blah. Experienced investors, emerging market values remain compelling, inspire. Don't miss this opportunity to benefit from the expertise of our team of emerging market equity investment professionals. Blah, blah, blah. Invest now with the UK's #1 investment trust provider, Asterisk. And then right down at the bottom, there's a whole lot of very, very small type, which will justify that statement. And then once again, please remember that past performance is not a guide to the future. The value of investments, blah, blah, blah. Actually, they managed to run the whole damn thing without using the word you at all. Brilliant. Let's have a look at another one. Here we have F&C Foreign Colonial Investments. And they think that people are going to be fascinated by a briefcase which has got an X-ray of pills and stuff in it. Can't see interest rates providing real returns. Time for a look inside the F&C ISA. If there's one mistake that people commonly make in advertising, it is to assume that a pun is a substitute for an idea. The best thing about this advertisement is top right, free guide to investing in an age of austerity, which is repeated again with a picture of the guide, free guide to investing in an age of austerity when you request our investment trust ISA brochure. Okay, if you're offering me this, then you should tell me something about what is in this brochure. They would be much better off probably focusing on just offering the brochure and telling people what's in it and how it's going to help them. This is the start of an intelligent marketing effort. You get somebody's name, they send up for something, you get their name, and then you follow them up. And it's not bad in the sense that they do ask a question. Can't see interest rates providing real returns. Time for a look inside the F&C ISA. Now, the copy here all set to a very wide measure. With interest rates still at their lowest level ever, it's difficult to see how investments reliant on them for income and growth can generate returns. When you set copy to this wide measure in sans serif type, it is more difficult to read. especially if there's a fair bit of it. So at least we're getting somewhere. So if you're searching for a potentially more rewarding ISA investment this year, it could be time to take a closer look inside the F&C, blah, blah, blah. You'll discover a choice of 12. Well, this is at least some attempt to be personal, to talk to somebody, although to be honest, it's very, very cliched and boring. Now, this is a very, very interesting advertisement for Artemis. About 10 years ago, or 11 years ago it must be now, Bill Bernbach was named as the advertising man of the 20th century by Advertising Age magazine in America. And Bill Bernbach said something very interesting. He said many interesting things. One of which was, one average campaign run for 10 years will do better than 10 brilliant campaigns won a year. The Artemis campaign, well, it does benefit from the fact that Artemis are actually very good at what they do. They are a very, very good organisation. The idea itself, I don't think is all that good. If profits are scarce in one territory, our strategic assets fund hunter is free to cross into another. I don't know why the word free is italicised. But at least the copy is personal. When you're faced with a confusing investment world where the landscape can be devoid of profits, what sort of a hunter do you need? How about a hunter who adapts quickly, knowing precisely when to move territories as conditions change, and so on? They've been running this campaign for quite a few years. I think it's a silly campaign, but at least it's got an idea behind it of the hunt for profits. It has a unique visual look, and they keep plugging away at it, where other people, almost all of them, are just doing a lousy job. So I think that's pretty good, and the copy's quite well written, even if I'm not crazy about it. Let's move on to TD Waterhouse, who've got a picture of a man. I choose where to invest my ISA money, to which the only response can be, so bloody what? Choose a TD trading ISA and you choose freedom, the freedom to think for yourself and make your own investment decisions. And then on the top right hand, in the box on the right, freedom from yearly administration fees, freedom to make your own decisions, freedom to trade online from just £8.95. Or at least they've got some sort of an argument here. The question you have to ask yourself is whether people want that freedom. And the question you have to ask yourself is, why should I go with these people rather than somebody else? Because there are other people who offer the same sort of thing. I don't know why they've chosen a black man there. Maybe it's got something to do with the freedom. I have a horrible feeling that this is some sort of a visual pun. Down in the copy though it says, make the most of your ISA allowance by investing up to £10,200 with no yearly administration fees. Now what they failed to do, which they should be doing, and which has been done extremely well by other people, notably Hargreaves Lansdowne, is to explain in pounds, shillings and pence, if there still were shillings and pence, but to explain in sheer money the financial benefits of an ISA. Actually, so far, all the stuff that I've been looking at in these magazines, I haven't been able to see a single thing which really tries to explain in any detail why people should respond to the advertisement and what the rationale is for whatever they're recommending. Here's something from Self-Trade, a hideous advertisement. Do you have an ISA portfolio? And then for no particular reason, in very large letters, that's uniquely tailored to you. Self-traders do. You want to invest in the stock market and enjoy the tax-efficient benefits of an ISA, but you don't want a one-size-fits-all portfolio. Sounds like you, query. Reversed out type like this is difficult to read. It's an ugly layout. You decide when, where and how your money is invested, so you can tailor your portfolio to include investments that you think will yield the best return. What's good here? I'll tell you what's good down there on the left, and it should have been much more prominent. Win up to £10,680. Open an ISA and win back your subscription. See website for terms. Again, they don't really explain to me why I should want to decide to be a self-trader. Very ugly advertisement, but at least it's got some sort of a point of view, but uniquely tailored is such a cliche. Now here we have HSBC, which is playing off its Asian heritage with, I think, some sort of a variation on the lion that goes around at Chinese New Year. You could earn a spectacular 18%, 4.84% AER tax-free. Well, at least they've got a proposition. Yeah, they're talking numbers, yeah, and they've got something that's very difficult to ignore. Why not transfer in your previous tax year's cash ISAs from your existing providers? With our stock market linked savings account ISA, you could secure a fixed rate of 18% tax-free after 3.5 years, as long as the FTSE, the FTSE 100 index, hasn't fallen after that time, or your money back plus 2% interest and so on. There is at least a proposition, and then they say, call 0800, they ask people to do something. This is a workmanlike advertisement and makes a fair bit of sense. Then we move on to NatWest. Now, the copywriter and art director for this job are stuck with the problem that they are in the straitjacket of a thing called helpful banking. The NatWest have decided that they are the helpful bank, which is a rarity nowadays. And at least, again, they are offering you something useful. If you're thinking about an ISA, helpful banking means an ISA guide that's easy to understand. ISA's made easy, our helpful guide to tax efficient savings, and you can see what you're getting. If you're offering something free, it's a very good idea to show it up big. And you can see it shown in the context of the bank, so if people want to go in there, they can pick it up. It does say, pick up a copy in branch. Visit natwest.com ISA guide, so you can either go to the branch, or you can go to the internet, or you can call us to get a copy of this guide. And it says, we're committed to making our ISAs easy to understand. That's why we've created, again, it's all we, yeah? It should be, you know, are you wondering what an ISA can do for you? It can do so and so and so and so and so and so. They should be explaining in more detail what the bloody benefits of an ISA are. These people are all incomprehensible to me. And what I'd like to do, actually, at this point, is just make some observations about some of the copy in the editorial. When you write an advertisement, you are competing with the editorial. So the editorial at the top from the editor, it's time to give your money a workout, with a picture of the editor's face. And you know something? Not one of these advertisements so far has had a real life human being, unless you count the Hunter and the Artemis advertisement. Human beings encourage readership. I've seen a human being stuck in something increased response by as much as 20%. And he's saying it's time to give your money a workout. Here is what may be a slightly uncomfortable truth. Despite rising unemployment, gradual despair and the slide in economic growth, for a lot of British people, the Great Recession just wasn't that bad. Well, that's quite an interesting statement. He says something interesting. He immediately says something more interesting than any of the advertisements that I've been looking at. And that's what you're competing with, yeah? He says something controversial, actually. Times haven't been that bad, yeah? Let's look at something else. Revolutions and oil shock, that's interesting. Food prices hit record levels. The UK, double dip danger. All these are more interesting than the stuff that we've been looking at as advertisements. And then what the experts recommend: buy gold, buy sturdy companies, buy the FTSE 100, buy small caps. All interesting stuff. Take control with a self-select ISA. Now that's interesting, you see. This man James McKeague, don't know how he pronounces his name, McCabe, when you buy a fund, you're paying someone else to manage your money. Yet over the long run, very few managers consistently beat the market. So why not take matters into your own hands? Now, this chap, James, is giving the argument that these people should be giving them their advertisements, but they're not bothering. They are giving away the readership to the editorial. Admittedly, people will read the editorial. Here's another one. ISAs, the easiest way to shield your savings from tax and inflation. What these advertisers are doing is they're assuming that the editorial is going to do their job for them. But if they do it as well, they will do far better. Why investment trusts are better than their unit rivals? Again, very, very good. And again, something controversial. If you had asked a financial advisor to recommend a fund for you over the last decade, chances are they'd have sold you a unit trust. Why? Because they'd have been paid a generous commission. So there's something controversial and interesting. Why can't these people who write the advertisements realise that you've got to say controversial, interesting stuff to get people to read? If you want to win big on emerging markets, start thinking small. Again, yeah, pretty good. How to win the war on inflation? Again, pretty good. Yeah. 3 charting techniques every spread better needs to know. Again, interesting. And opposite, what a strange coincidence. Next generation spread betting, a powerful new trading platform for traders who want exceptional precision pricing and execution from CMC Markets. Very, very short copy. None of these people believe what is true, I can promise you, which is that long copy will work if you're selling financial services. They all seem to think that money is boring, and as I often say to people, money is not boring, people kill for money. And some of the people who write some of these ads should be killed. Here's another one. Somebody again being clever for capital spreads. Opposite, there is an article on spread betting, why the pound looks good for now. Nice, you know, so it begs the question, how long is it going to be good? So it's an interesting statement, yeah? Here we've got downbeat corn report puts commodity in the spotlight. Puts commodities in the spotlight. Do you, A, sigh and expect coleslaw with your 6-piece chicken combo from now on? B, go long on wheat and follow the trend with a picture of some chicken. This is one of the most common sins. It's a visual pun and also a verbal pun. What the hell has chicken got to do with what they're trying to sell, spread betting? Nothing. Waste of space. Here's a bit more sensible. If you're thinking at these prices, should I hold on to gold? Contact us. Well, this is a very, very simple proposition, because everybody knows right now, if anybody's an investor, they are thinking a lot about gold and silver and other commodities like that. Across the page, do you have what it takes to be a better trader? That would be a better headline than any of the headlines in any of these advertisements. Here's something appalling. Big on ubiquity. Big on ubiquity. You are kidding, aren't you? From Shanghai to Rio, St. Petersburg to Cincinnati, our fund managers know their way around really well. They're prepared to invest anywhere in the world, whatever the Strauss, Rue or Avenida. Do I care? Yeah? I want to know what you can do better for me. Yeah? Tell me right now what you can do for me that nobody else can do, or what you can do better for me than anyone else. That's what I want to know. That's what nearly all these people fail to do. Witten are a firm who specialise in coming up with wisdom. If you would be wealthy, think of saving as well as getting, says Benjamin Franklin, 1706 to 1790. Thinking of where to invest this year's ISA in order to help secure your long-term wealth, bit of a cliche. But at least these people do make an attempt to explain to you the benefits of an ISA. In fact, they do say the benefits of ISAs. The Witten Wisdom ISA is a tax-efficient savings plan that allows you to squirrel away, nice language, up to £10,200, blah, blah, blah. And a decent argument, yeah? A decent argument. And a proposition down there in the column right, if you choose to invest a lump sum in a Wisdom ISA before 30th of April, we will waive our standard 1% dealing fee. Another ISA ad, absolutely appalling. ISA choice, helping you make your decision, live life to the full allowance. Gordon Bennett. Reversed out. Fidelity, one of the largest organisations of its kind in the world. They probably get away with this stuff because they're so big and the name is so well known. But it really is awful. Reversed out, which makes it more difficult to read, with a coupon which doesn't look like a coupon. If you're going to run coupons, make them look like coupons. Well, I've been rude about lots and lots of these things because, quite frankly, I don't think they're very good. I'm going to turn for a moment to something which has got nothing to do with this at all. I just happened to see it this morning. Here it is, and it says, here's a strange way to improve your hearing. If you, nothing to do with financial services. Why am I showing it to you? I'm showing it to you to make an important point. This advertisement, this headline, I happen to know, is stolen from a headline that was run over 70 years ago, which is mentioned in John Capel's book, I think, Making Ads Pay. And it's still working for somebody. I hope I haven't bored you too much, but you know, the most important thing to do if you want to succeed as a copywriter, if that's what you're interested in, as a business, if that's what you're interested in, if you want to persuade people to do what you want to do, and I hope that's what you're interested in, then you can do no better than study. And you can do no better than study people who've done it before you, which is why I always recommend, if you haven't read it, anything by John Caples. And I always recommend that people go and get my helpful ideas, if you're not already getting them, and pick up a copy of Claude Hopkins' Scientific Advertising. You just have to go here to sign on if you haven't done so, and just study. I apologise if I sound like a bit of a smart ass when I analyse all these things. I'm not a smart ass, I'm just a guy who's been around and who's studied and studied and studied in an attempt to overcome my own ignorance and stupidity, and I really recommend it. What I want to do, lastly, is to draw your attention to one piece of creative material which is superb, and this is from Money Week. You will notice when you look at this that it goes on and on and on. The people at Money Week are not frightened of talking at length about a subject that interests people a great deal, which is called making money, unlike all these other people. The only people that I know of who do this in the field that I've just been talking about, investment, are clients of mine. I would like to say I can claim credit. I can't. I don't work for them often. They're called Hargreaves Lansdown. They started off in a spare bedroom with a borrowed typewriter. They've just been admitted to the ranks of the FTSE 100, the 100 highest capitalised companies in the country. They run long copy. They give a complete argument. Study almost anything from them and you'll learn something. But study this Money Week thing and you'll learn a great deal. And what I propose to do, if you're interested, is I'm going to take the Money Week proposition and look at it and explain to you why it works so well. That's for another time, but in the first place, the one thing that you should take away from this, apart from the fact that a long argument will work, is what they have done on the cover of this insert. They have focused on the money you might lose if you're in the wrong investments. And one thing to remember, very, very important thing to remember about financial services is that men are, and women are more worried about what they might lose than what they might gain. Very, very important. I know that this piece that I'm recommending to you works because personally I had the humiliating experience a couple of years ago of trying to beat their creative work, and I failed. I failed because they know what they're doing better than just about anybody I know. So studying that particular piece of creative material will stand you in good stead, and if enough of you are interested, I will analyse it for you. Thank you very much for joining me.